This is the first of what hopefully soon will be a series covering the creation of an ARK map on top of a giant turtle. In this first part, I'm going to show you how I created the turtle on which the map will rest. I jumped into Blender, and before starting to sculpt, I quickly made this space mesh that vaguely resembles a sea turtle. With the help of a few quick Google searches, I was able to add some detail, keeping in mind that most people don't really know how exactly a sea turtle looks, and also with the more fantastical purpose of it, I think it's safe to say that it turned out good enough. The concept of having a giant turtle carrying the world just appealed to me because it looks cool, but if you go back in time to look at old or even ancient myths, you will often find some kind of beast or big animal holding the world up, or at least together. In the Indo-European space, this is often some kind of serpent. For example, the Leviathan in some Hebrew myths, or in Norse, Jormungandr. Okay, so with the sculpt coming together, I think it's increasingly obvious that I can't just import this thing directly into the runtime environment of the ARK Dev Kit. So what I'm going to do is remeshing the whole thing. For those who might not know what that means, it's basically just layering the whole surface with a moderate amount of easy to work with squares. A giant turtle seems a pretty obvious choice if you want an animal that is capable on carrying the entire world. For those who have played World of Warcraft, I will tell you it's not a coincidence that the pandas live on a giant turtle, as this concept is not a stranger to Chinese mythology. What is a lot more surprising, or at least was to me, is that it is also present in Native American culture. The American continent, or what was for them the entire world, is sometimes referred to as Turtle Island. With the remesh finished, it is time to unwrap the mesh to make it ready for the texturing process. With the mesh now unwrapped, it's ready to be imported into Substance Painter, where I added some textures and baked the details of the sculpt onto it. I went back to Blender for some quick vein painting and animating. Not having actively used Blender in a few years, I was slightly annoyed to find the weight painting feature to be more burdensome after the 2.8 update. I also encountered some pretty major frustration with the feature that lets you split windows, but somehow never lets you close them again. With my frustration now finally overcome, I was able to import the model and animation into the ARK Dev Kit. The animation turned out to be a bit janky despite my best attempts, and I might slightly alter the color of the shell depending on the texture of the final terrain that is going to be placed on top of it, but overall I'm satisfied with the result. For the size of the turtle, I decided to make the landscape 15 by 24 components. For reference, the island map has 27 by 27 components of the same scale. Keep in mind that the actual area on top of the shell that is going to be playable is quite a bit smaller, as this is a one-man project and I intend on finishing it before the heat death of the universe. I started to create a quick landscape in the shape of the shell so that I could add a small mountain range I made in World Creator on top of it. Photoshop decided that it was going to export my 16-bit grayscale image as an 8-bit sRGB image, and it ended up looking like this. After I sorted that out, I was able to continue with the rough shape of the landscape. I am probably going to call the map Ant Turtle Bahamut. Bahamut or Behemoth is technically a fish or a whale in the same group of mythological beings as the Leviathan, but I really like the name, and there's a good song with the same name. Okay, the landscape looks good enough for now. I'm going to start with the actual detail in the following videos, as well as creating a better looking ocean, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and have a wonderful day.